Sorry. Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 with EQCS. I just want to say, thank you. I must say it is great to have such a huge turnout for an event like this. Yeah, it's just really cool to see so many people interested about tech. And so yes, as you probably are aware already, this is the EQCS Intro to GitHub and Open Sourcing tool run by Connor and Anshul. Quick advertisement of UQCS. So UQCS is the uni society that runs this event. We host weekly talks 5 to 6 on Thursdays. If you're not already, feel free to jump into our Discord, discord.uqcs.org. That is a place where we publish the most announcements as to what's coming up, job advertisements and stuff like that, and what's happening in the tech community. Hopefully by now we should also be live streaming this on YouTube. So if for whatever reason you are unable to attend our events on Thursdays, you don't want me to at the end of the event, jump on our YouTube channel. Not only are most of the events live streamed, but recordings of all these kinds of events will also be up there. So if you miss something, we glossed over something too quickly, jump on our YouTube channel and you'll be able to play it as many times as you want, I guess. We also have Instagram, LinkedIn, and that's not mailing. That's our link to join UQCS. So as I said, we will have a page at the end of this event. We would love if you could please join UQCS. So that's join.uqcs.org. It's only $2. If you want to pay in person, we can organize that after the event. But you can also fill out the details online. We are not on QPay. We have our own system, mainly because everything goes down on market day. But alas, I digress. Join.uqcs.org to join our club and be a member. We would love that. I think without further ado, I will introduce you to Connor and Anshul, who are both members of the UQCS community. Anshul here is a community member, and today they will be talking about Intro to Git as well as open sourcing. So please make them feel welcome.
Thanks, Anshul. So yeah, I'm Connor. This is Anshul. We're both at uni. I'm a 4th year Bachelor of Computer Science, Master's in Cybersecurity.
I'm a 4th year software engineering student.
So hopefully we can get. So let's get into it. So honestly, GitHub is one of those things that you first look at it and it looks kind of scary. It looks very codey, and then you're like, you know what? I can learn that tomorrow. You hit your summer holidays and it's like, I can learn that back at uni. But you know what? We've got to get into it now. We've got to actually get in there. So starting off, GitHub, it's a way of sharing your code, and honestly, once you start learning it, it's way simpler than you imagine it to be. So starting off, yes, sharing your code. It also helps you track changes in your code over time. And yeah, it also looks really good on your resume if you can just be like, oh yeah, I did uni, but also like look at my 20 projects I've worked on. Yeah, they can be like, oh my god, this guy, he's actually done work already. Might as well hire him. And also, if you beware, we will have a lot of memes through this entire presentation. Now, there is, so people have heard, like when we say git commit and all this, but then we talk about GitHub. There is a difference between the two. So GitHub is a cloud service that allows you to manage your repositories, and all that does, you can almost think of it as a fancy OneDrive that lets you manage your code. Whereas Git is the actual version control software that allows you to track changes in your code, create branches, merge, all that kind of fun stuff. So GitHub is like the overarching management software, whereas Git is the actual low-level version control. Now there are other services very similar to GitHub, but not. So we've got GitLab and Bitbucket. Now, personally, my favorite is GitHub, but I do work with GitLab a lot, and GitLab and Bitbucket, they're more personal company tailored. So they're not usually all that open source stuff. You can, but most people know open source through Git. GitHub, and that's just the way it is. They're just different flavors of the same thing. But back to our Lord and Savior, Octocat, GitHub's mascot. So first off, let's get into learning the basics. So collaborate, code, review, merge, Albert Einstein, source, trust me, bro. So begin. Let's get started. Let's get right into it. This is a workshop and slash talk. We've talked about like the pair overview of it, and that's not a lot at all. Let's actually get into using it. So if you've got your laptop, you hop onto that website, https://github.com, and sign up, make an account. You'll need to do that if you want to follow along the rest of the talk. I'm not going to really slow it down. I'm just going to keep talking, but I'm not going to be doing anything crazy just yet. So while I'm talking, just have a quick sign up. So yeah, you just follow the prompts to create an account. It's not too much. So let's get into some terminologies. So starting off, a repository, you'll hear that a lot. A repository is pretty much a code base. It's something that you store all your code to. So when someone says, "I'll check out my code repository," that just means that's their projects. That's what they've been working on. In GitHub, you usually have a single URL, and it will just take you to that full repository, and you'll be able to go through it all there. The next one is one of the reasons why you want to be using Git and GitHub and all this is branching. So branches are pretty much the same copies of the code, but you can do different changes on them, and they'll do the same work on the same code without having to interrupt each other. So if you're working in a team, you might have one main bit of software that you're working on, but then you might create copies of that main software and call them feature this, feature that. And if every person works on their own feature, and when they're done, they just merge all those features into the main, and no one's stepping on each other's toes. Now, that probably sounded extremely complicated if you don't know what it is. So there is actually nice software to teach you it. So there's a really cool website that Arshil found, where it's called Learn Git's Branching. And it allows you to visualize what's actually happening. So here we are. We've got there's our initial commit. There's our first commit, and our main, that's the main branch, it's pointing to this very first commit. So if I were to type in here, git add, this one. So git commit, and I can do -m to give it a message, or we'll be going into a bit more detail about this. So just give it m as a message. So there we go, we've got a new commit. You see the dot moves down. And because we're currently in the main branch, that's where that commit goes off to. And usually you would then, so this is just Git, by the way. So we haven't even touched GitHub yet. So this is just Git. That's what we're going to type in Git. So if you wanted to look at what branches we're on, you just type in Git branch. And there we go, it just tells us we're on the main branch. But say we want to go and we want to work on a new feature. Say we want to work on a cool new feature called Git branch, and then we give it a name. So I want the feature to be called the problem child. So I'll follow some naming conventions here. So feature / and then the problem child. So basically the way this works is you just type in Git, like we've been doing this whole time, then type in branch, and then you give it a name. So this will just create a new branch. It doesn't like that. Sorry, you keep branch name short. Oh, lame. Not letting me have creative dignity. Branch, and then I'm just going to give it boring. There we go. Okay, now notice how we've got main, boring, feature T. They're all on the same commit. Still weird. I don't know what's happening here. Well, that's because we haven't actually done any commits in the other branches. So why don't we do that right now? So first of all, what branch are we on? Well, let's just check. So if we go get branch here, oh, there's a lot of branches. There's a little asterisk next to main. Now that just means that we're in the main branch right now. And that's handy. But when we want to actually like move to a different branch, we just say get checkout. So if we go get checkout, and we go boring, and I just do that same get branch. Now I've got the asterisk next to boring. Now, say I want to do a new commit. So I say, okay, I do some changes, I do some work, and I want to commit this. Now, I give it a name. I really don't need to give it a name, I don't think, but I'll just do it because it's good. Big things. Pitch. There we go. Look at that, boring's just moved up. Now, boring's moved up. The rest of the branches are still over on that first commit. So now we're working on a new branch. And that's what it means to have a new branch. So that commit there has all the changes. So these branches have the changes from this commit, this commit, and this commit. But boring has the changes from this commit, this commit, this commit, this commit. That's what it means by branching. So we're just creating different versions of the same code. And we can actually go back and just go back to main and then commit on that, and it'll keep branching off. Now, I have gone a bit on a tangent, so let's go back. So that was branching. So branching, just the same bit of software, same bit of code, and we're just copying it and working on something new. Commits. Now, a commit is like drawing a line in the sand of where these changes are happening. So you might be coding, and you might type in 10 lines, and you might go, okay, that's cool for that file. Go to another file, type in another couple of lines, and you go, okay, I want to save this now. So what you do is you say, okay, get add. That just tells you the stage of these commits, these changes to the new commit. And when you say get commit, we're drawing the line in the sand and say, okay, this is where all these changes belong. Where everything after this is on this commit. Now, when you look at your code, you'll be able to organize your code by those commits. So everything's got those lines in the sand of where those commits are. Now, stash, when I say I'm stashing something, it's like I have a bookshelf next to me and I'm just putting the code changes away for a second. I'm not saving them into the code. It's because I want to put them away to the side and I want to work on something else. That's all stashing is. Pull and push requests. These are something that you'll be doing a lot. When I say I'm pulling something, I'm pulling from the remote repository, so from GitHub, from the online source. I'm pulling from there and I'm putting it into my local workspace. So I'm putting it into my local code. Pushing is the opposite. Where I'm taking my code, I'm going, okay, what are the commits that haven't been already pushed? I'm taking those commits, I'm giving them out to the GitHub repository. And finally, we have merge conflicts. Merge conflicts, really it's two parts. Merge, when I say I'm merging something, if you remember these branches from earlier, we have these two branches. If I were to go back, and I said, Boring's just worked on a new feature. Boring's been doing this stuff. And so we go back to main, we go get, check out main. There we go, we're back to main. Now say I want to do some changes on main. So I'm working in a team, my teammates working on Boring. Now I want to work on main, so I do a bit of work on main. Now I'm saving my work, so I'm drawing the line in the sand. These are the changes I want to have in this commit. So dash m l. So now it's branch source. So main contains C4, C2, C1, and C0, whereas Boring contains C3, and so on, C2, C1, C0. Now, say I'm on that main branch, I'm like, okay, well, I actually want those changes from Boring. I say get merge Boring. And now there's a new commit. It's another line in the sand, but this line in the sand is saying all those changes that we did in that branch are now in our branch. So that's all Git merging is doing. It's just merging branches together. If you change one word in one branch, you change another word in another branch. If you want both of those words to be change to one branch, you just merge them together. Now, when I say a merge conflicts, all that means is that he's changed this word, I've changed the same word, then we've merged them together, and now Git doesn't know what to do. And all that means is that you have to actually decide, do you want this change, or do you want this change? That's all it is. So when people say, oh, I've got a merge conflict, it really means that they've changed something, their teammates changed something, and now they're going to decide which change do they want in their code. Now, let's get on to the next slide. Let's go into some demonstration stuff. And that's why I'm doing some funny has merge conflicts when they develop working on projects. That's pretty sad if you forgot that. Let's get into it. So starting off, let's get back to the main page. So there's a link up there, bit.ly/UCS-workshop. If you type that link in, that'll take you guys to the repository I've created. There's also a QR code. So if you're on your phone and you really don't want to grab your laptop out, you can look at the repository to see the changes. Follow along. Now, I'm going to give you guys a minute just to type that in really quickly. So this demonstration, we're just going to go through the same things I did before, except I'm just going to sprinkle in a few nuggets of GitHub wisdom along the way. So we're going to do the same things as we did before, plus a little extra. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't say, oh, go. Got access denied. Has anyone else got access denied? 404. Are you sure you typed the link in right? Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. It is a bit badly formatted there. My bad. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't take that long to type in a couple words, but even if it does, never fear, this next part is pretty chill. So welcome to Git Stash Ease. As I was talking about Git Stash earlier, I thought it'd be pretty funny. So this is not the first time you open up Git and you're looking at a repository. This is what a repository looks like. So there's a few key features here. Is that everything's big enough everyone to read, right? Yeah. Cool beans. So we have a look at this. So first of all, we got a bunch of these things up here. So code, issues, pull requests, all that. Won't get into too much of this. It gets a bit weird. We'll just start with code. So if we're looking at code, you'll see here, so we're in the Git Stash repository, Git Stash, and it says public here. Public just means it's a public repository. Anyone can look at it. If you want, when you have your own account, you can create a private repository, only you can see it, and then you can invite people to look at it. So it's different access levels. Now, if we scroll down a bit, so the first thing you can see is you can see the last commit. So that's the name of the last commit. You can see when I did it yesterday. You can also see my commit history, so you can see the last couple of commits that I've been doing. There's only two files in here, so these are the files. There's a readme.md and there's a hello.py. I'm not going to explain hello.py. I'm going to hope and pray that I don't have to explain hello.py. Just treat it as a text file if you haven't done 1001. The readme though, the readme is pretty common. Most repositories have a readme. So all it is it's a file to explain what's happening. In fact, GitHub automatically opens it up. So you can see what's inside the readme. And you can see it's all fancily formatted. And that's because it's a .md file. So it's a text file with a bit of space. So if we go into it, you can see I've given it a title here, Git Stash Ease. You can see all the fun stuff here. So I've just explained a couple of things about it, about the code, and I've given you guys a couple of Git commands. So basically, all readme is, first of all, it's meant to explain how to set up the coding environment. Because as a developer, you'll probably also know that we're lazy when it comes to documentation, and we don't usually know what the other guy's doing. So it's always nice for somebody to write down, hey, this is the dependency that you need, or this is the tools that you'll need to use to set this up, or even better, they just give you the list of commands you need to run to set their code up. The other thing it does is it just explains what the code's for sometimes. So they can just be like, oh, this is a repository to do this, it does that. Thanks, Siri. And that's all you really need to know about the README. It's basically a text file. Now, moving on, we've also got this issue tab. Now, Angel's going to go into more about the issue tab in a bit, so I'll leave that as a bit of candy for later. Pull requests. All a pull request is that thing I was talking about earlier. So this is on the remote repository. This is the saved version. So when you see that pull request tab, it will just contain all the pull requests. So everybody who wants to grab something or pull it into another branch, they'll all pop up here. So you don't have to worry too much about that just yet. We need to actually do some changes first. And that's all it is. And here's our branches as well. So you click on that tab, you can see all the branches. So that's main. So that's the main branch that we're on. There's also this one, feature, the problem child. Creative liberty. I like it. So when you get on this one, you notice that this now says feature the problem child. And now we've got save files, but something's changed. So I'm just going to quickly show you that change. So actually, before I do that, let's actually show you a cool new trick. So hopefully you guys have GitHub open. If you're looking at this repository, which I'll go back to main, it's probably on main. We're opening up the repository. If you look at the period key on your keyboard, and you just hit that, so full stop, hit that, it'll actually open up the web developer. So this is an in-browser editor. So now you can actually edit your code using a VS Code editor without actually having to open up anything. You can just open up in your browser. Now that we've got that open, just if you haven't used VS Code, you'll notice here it says what branch you're on down here, down bottom left. It's a bit small, sorry, I don't actually know how to increase that one. But if you hit that, it will tell you up here, oh, do you want to create a new branch? Do you want to create a new branch from? That just means creating from another branch. Open branch on GitHub, and then you got the branches that you got currently available to you. So we can see there's main, there's feature, the problem child. So let's actually have a look at this hello.py. So it just says print hello world. We have a look, and that's all it does. We have a look at this branch thing here. Let's move to feature the problem child. Move over here. That's doing this little thing. It goes, hey mom, so someone's got a change. And that's a change that we've got right there. So hopefully we're all up to this step. So this is all git checkout. Let me see if I'm pulling my list of things. So I think first off, we want to know how to create a branch. So we go over here, you can create a branch. I'm just going to be lazy and go back to the GitHub stream. So I have to do it twice. Get rid of that. So instead of typing out git branch this, because if you do that, you'll have to then say git push and that branch name, or the repository and that branch name. So first off, if we want to create a new branch, we hit that, where is it? Branches. We hit that branch little tab there. You just get a new branch. Just give it a branch name. So you go, okay, test. And then you choose which branch you want to create your branch from. So all that means is it's going to go, okay, these are the changes I'm going to grab from when I want to create this branch. So say I want to go from main, I hit main, hit create new branch, creates a new branch. Now play over here, just do a quick reload. And hit down here, all the features of the problem child. But now I can change tests. And if I change the tests, it'll have the same changes that main did. That's that little thing. I mean, the long thing. There we go. it's got the same changes as main. Now, we've created our new branch, we've opened that up. Now let's do a quick change. So instead of hello dad, right? Now it's modified. Now, you don't have to really say it here. This is all the online repository. You go over here. There's a little source control tab on your left-hand side. Go to source control. You can see there's your changes. There's a big green button. Void or all buttons. Hit the plus button here. First off, this is get add. That's that get add I was talking about earlier. This is saying, okay, this is a change. I want it to be in the next commit. I want it to be where I draw the line. Now, I can just type in a quick message. I'll say, nice. There we go. And then it gets you the nice green button. You can just hit that. It's got the commit and pushing. So usually you can commit multiple times and then push. This is going to let you just do both in one. Okay, disappears. Now if we go back to this, reload this, and go to test, you can see, oh, that's not the right one. Good. Fine. You can see it's changed over here. So now we've changed our little branch over here. Now I think I might be eating up time. But before I finish up too quickly, there's two more things I want to show you. Get merge, and I also want to show you it's that thing. I want to show you merge first. So let's go back to that name. So remember how I was talking about before, how you can just merge branches together. So right now we've got main, we've got the problem child over here, we've got test over here. We want test to be in main. So let's compare and pull. There's a big button over here. Press that. This is like hitting merge. Any little merge. So just compare the branches. There's no conflicts. And add a title. I don't really want a title. Let's just create pull requests. Okay, it's open. And I don't really want to merge. I don't want to have a request. I just want to merge it. In the open source world, you'll be chatting with people whether the change is right. Confirm merge. Merging. Successfully merged and closed. Nice. Now we go to code. We look at main. Look at hello.py. It's changed. Our merge has worked. That is all. Now, if I were to do this one as well, compare and merge, it's going to check, and now it's going to say can't merge or make a merge. We know what this is. This is. One of them says hello dad, the other one says the problem child. So if we have a look, don't worry, it's still create the pull request. Once you create the pull request, let's just create that. It's going to do this again. And now we can either, we have to resolve conflicts. So we have a look at it, and now it's showing us what the conflicts are. So the top line has those arrows, and it's saying, this is what feature the problem child is saying. And this one is what main's saying. And then it splits the changes with those equal signs. And that's all it is. Now, once you choose those changes, that's literally just getting rid of a few lines. And let's get rid of this one. Get rid of those. Get rid of that one. Okay, mark is resolved. Oh.
Can you make it say, hey, mum and dad instead?
Yes, you can. So you don't actually have to choose. You can just change it. You can be just be that annoying intermediate and go, you know what, neither of you get what you want. You get this out. Sharing is caring. Committing merge. Now we got that one. Now it's going to check again. Now it's going, okay, perfect, you can merge it now. Great merge. Confirm merge. And now it's merged and successful. We go back. Back to the code. Look at hello.py. Now it says, hey, mum and dad. Man, that's the bare basics of doing GitHub. You know how to merge, you know how to do all this. I think that was the one thing I wanted to tell you guys. Now, when you're wanting to work on your own things, you don't want to work on the editor. One last thing. If you want to work on your own code, you go on the command line, and you type in git clone. So I'll just grab this one over here. Looks a bit ugly right now, so I did some stuff beforehand. Is it still alive? Let me just drag it in. Thanks, there we go. Git clone. And then after you type that in, you then go code, and where it says the green button that says code, you just copy this link here. Now you can copy this link, or you can copy this link up here. By the way, it's going to grab it from HTTPS, which is just the web. So, hold on, I didn't copy that down. Let me hit that button. Just hit that button, and it'll find it. Now, you got all the code that was in that repository on your actual computer. You also be able to grab those branches and all that stuff I was telling you before. And I've got a bunch of those, and on that repository, there's a bunch of commands there that'll help you out for coding in your own repository. So when you're coding on your local, you will be just using Git, and that's the version control set. When you want to actually put it up to GitHub, that'll be your Git merge, your Git pull, push, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I've eaten up way too much time. Let's get to the cool money making stuff. Hey, Alto, let me just rope you up here. Right. Let me get rid of this.
So yeah, now that you guys are sort of equipped and sort of like familiar with GitHub, let's put that tool to some actual good use. So what is open source? So open source is basically where you have big companies like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, all these like big companies sort of putting their projects out there for you to contribute into. So if you're looking to gain some experience, this is a great way of getting started with it. So open source, as it says, is for anyone to use, modify, and distribute. So some of the more famous open source projects that you guys might have heard of is Mozilla Firefox, that's the browser, and Linux. So Linux is its operating system, which is quite nice compared to Windows. Yeah. Also, the benefits of open source, cost effective, because like you have developers from all around the world just working on the same repository. So you can imagine how streamlined and how optimized the code will be. Plus the peer review, you get like free peer reviews from developers who are willing to work on that open source project. And yeah. So why open source? Open source is a great way of getting started, getting into the development side of things. So one of the ways that you can sort of develop your skills in terms of web development and gaining that real life experience. If you are not getting any internships, this is a great way of doing it. So taking the first steps. So how do we search for projects on GitHub? So I'll show you some neat handy tricks for getting started with open source.
That was that one.
Oh,
No.
yeah, that's it. So let's say we go to GitHub. Okay, that's a lot of times. GitHub.com. Yeah. So this is normally how your homepage will look like on GitHub, right? So let's say you want to get started with working on some open source projects. So one way of doing this is probably just like searching, let's say, some popular libraries that you want to work on. So you can just type in library, and then if you have a specific language that you want to work in, so C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, you name it, GitHub provides an option of filtering that out as well. So you can just type in language. Yeah, so it neatly shows you all the programming languages that you can work on. So Java. And then after that, you can select the stars on like the more like famous open source projects. So let's say greater than 7,000. Yeah. So as you can see, Google slash Java and like all these like big Tencent, they have like their open source projects. So this is like one way of getting started with things. Another way to do it is to if you go to this is a neat website from where you can sort of find your good first issues to actually start contributing towards. So it's called goodfirstissues.dev. So it neatly sort of gives you all the open source projects that are looking for some help and contribution. So if you go here and sort of browse by languages, so you can choose Python, Go, JavaScript, and if you just click on this, it will show you all the 4 issues that are available at the moment that you can sort of contribute to. So all of these are beginner friendly. So like this is like a great starting point of just like launching into the open source community. Um, Alongside that, yeah, technical difficulties. Just give us a second. Yeah. So in this, um, so these are like some open source programs that I wanted to introduce to you guys. So one of them being Google Summer of Code. So Google hosts their so Google organizes like this particular program. It's free for all. You don't need to be a student. You can be a developer as well, and you can contribute to all these like open source projects from different companies and get some cool stipends along the way. So it's sort of like an internship. It's very prestigious. I would recommend getting into this once you have done a certain number of contributions. So at the moment, if you guys are interested or have already started with your open source journey, you can start putting in your applications from March 18th, I believe. They have announced their sort of organizations. Yeah. So let me just open their website so that you guys can have a look. Okay, not this. Yeah, so Google Summer of Code. Once you go here, pretty nice program. So over here, they have given like all the organizations that are participating at the moment. So if you go here and browse all the 2024 organizations. So basically, what happens here is that you can sort of decide which particular area of computer science you want to work in. So artificial intelligence, data, development tools, end user applications, like you name it, it's all there. So if you go here, these are all the organizations that are currently, so you might have heard of a couple of them, Blender, Arc, and yeah, Kotlin, like all these like famous like open source projects, you can like go and contribute to them and sort of like apply. Once you're done with that, yeah, then we have Hacktoberfest. Now this is extremely beginner friendly. So in this, all you have to do is it is themed around Oktoberfest, which is why Hacktoberfest. So it happens from September 26th to October 31st, where you sort of have to make 4 pull requests, and based on that, you get some like cool goodies. Last year they were like giving out some T-shirts. T-shirts, so like it's like a cool merch to sort of like that and sort of increase your streak cred, you could say in a way. But this is a great way of getting started if you're like just starting out. Um, then there is the MLS Fellowship. So in this, you get to work under all the big companies like Google, Meta, Facebook, like yeah, Meta, Facebook, Google, Meta, Microsoft, like all these like companies, they provide you internships and you get to work with those engineers for a period of 12 weeks. And the applications are running throughout the year, so you can apply whenever you want. Um, and you can even choose like the track. So you can choose to work in software development, you can choose to work in site reliability development, or you can go for Web3 development. Also, I just quickly open that website too. So I believe they should be showing all the companies that they collaborate with. Yeah. So as you can see, GitHub, Meta, AWS, Google, and yeah, like all the big companies, you can just like go and apply here. And then alongside that, I believe they give you the option of choosing. So these are the tags that I was mentioning about. So you can just like go and like learn more about like what exactly they're providing, and these are like the upcoming batches as well. So quite a cool program. Um, and then we have the Microsoft Reinforcement Learning Open Source Test. Now this is probably the highest paying open source program of all. They pay around 10,000 US dollars for working for 4 months with like all the Microsoft research team at New York City. Um, in essence, what you're doing is working on reinforcement learning. So if you're like into artificial intelligence, this is a great way of like getting started. So open source is not really limited to web development itself; it's actually open to like other things as well. I quickly go to the others. LFX mentorship. So this is from Linux Foundation. This is a 12-week program. In this, basically what you do is you reach out to maintainers. So maintainers are the people who are responsible for maintaining these repositories, like these huge open source projects that are available on GitHub. And you can sort of reach out to them and say, hey, I want to contribute. Tell me how can I get started? And they're super welcoming to everyone who's like new to open source. So you can always check out like this website, mentorship.nfx. I'll just open it once again. Yeah, sorry for yeah. So LFX mentorship, if you just go here and explore the mentorship, it should show you, yeah. So these are all the projects that are working and like the programs that are running at the moment. And these are all the mentors that you can sort of reach out to who can sort of guide you in getting started with open source. So it's a quite prestigious program as well. It's like 10,700 applications, out of which 900 were selected. So over here, you can just like quickly sort of browse through like the different open source programs that are available that sort of like fits your need. So that's one. And then we have Fossatia Code Heat. So this is another like annual coding contest for students, where basically you have to work on like the open source tickets that are provided by Fossatia. It's a big organization in all of ASEAN region, so Asia Pacific. And sort of like if you want to access all those tickets, you can always just type this in and get started on like working on those particular problems. So yes, yeah, it's a bit of a yeah. So if you just copy this and jump this into GitHub, so yeah, so at the search bar, this should take you to all the open tickets that Fossatia has at the moment that you can sort of work on. So that's one, and then alongside that, we also have other programs. So GitHub operations. So these are the internships that's offered by GitHub themselves, where sort of based on your open source contributions, they look at your applications and sort of give you an internship for a 12 weeks period. It's a highly accredited internship program. That's the handbook that you can sort of go through and take a look at the eligibilities. And based on that eligibility, you can sort of apply. Alongside that, this is the outreach program. So outreach program is a diversity program in open source, where you sort of like handpick 1 to 2 projects to work on, and based on that, outreach will provide you a $7,000 stipend over the period of 12 weeks. In this, so this is like for anyone who's like from like a diverse background, they can always apply to this. It's a great way of getting started. And then the UPCS open source. Now for this, I'll like to my Ian, who will elaborate on it more.
Yes, so UPCS also has some open source projects that we run on our GitHub. So if you search up on GitHub, YouTube Computing Society, we have an account there. The two main GitHub projects that we have are our UPCS bot. So this is a Discord bot. This is the actual Discord bot that we use in the Discord. So if you're committing stuff to that, you can see like real time the effect that it's having. If you want to create a cool thing, you can actually test it out like in the server. It's really cool. Stuff like Domino's coupons that I used for the Domino's tonight, that's a bot, part of the bot that someone made. You want to have that change? Jump onto our GitHub. Have a look at it. Have a look at the Python that's there, see if you understand it, talk to people in Discord server, see what changes you can make. The other thing we have is our website. So if you're more into like web development, go through it live. Like there are things on there, there are issues on there that need to be fixed that we've marked as beginner things on both the Discord bot and the website, may I add. But yeah, there are things in there that just haven't been changed in a while. There are improvements to be made for sure. That we would love for you guys to jump on and contribute to. Scroll through the list there. That's definitely a non-exhaustive list. I think we have about 15 different projects. One of them is like a cookbook. Yeah, have a look on there, see what's on there, see what you like. And yes, please contribute to open source. That kind of wraps up the talk. So thank you very much for coming. Like I said, we have streamed this, so the YouTube video will be up soonish at some point. We will also post all these slides up on the Discord soon. So if you missed anything, feel free to go back to the YouTube video that we will be posting and all the slides that have been posted. Thank you very much, people who have been watching the live stream, and constantly you as well.